Welcome back, everyone. We got some brand new content for you. Super excited about this project because this is something for me personally, and I've been waiting for this a long time. I'm sure you guys have seen this car back in the shots and some of the other builds that we've done. It's been sitting there for a long time. So if you're new to the channel and you guys enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you for all the support. So let's get this cover off and see what we got going on here. So this car has been sitting here, different spots for over a year. Just haven't had time to get to it just because this is something for me. Gotta do all the other stuff to make a living first. But the time has finally come and I'm super excited about it. This car is, so this is the carpet from it, but we'll see in a second. So, we got an Audi A6 Avant. It is a 2007 Audi A6 Avant. So let's get the rest of the cover off and check it out a little closer. I did start on it a while back, just didn't have time to proceed with it. Alright guys, so let's check this thing out. Like I said, A6 Avant. I'm a huge fan of Audi and wagons. Avants. So this for me actually caught my eye because I got this for a steal of a price. I got this for $750 at the auction. It is an A6. You see a lot of A4 Avants. You don't see too many A6 Avants. And it's white, one of my favorite colors for cars. So I had to jump on it for that cheap. Off the bat, it already came with these Audi peeler wheels, and they are actually original. They're not reps, so I'm super excited about them. They're in pretty good condition. This Avant already had some coilovers, some Godspeed coilovers on it, so that's already another big plus because I was going to lower it, put some suspension on it anyway. So let's check out the interior. Well, there is no interior. And we actually took all this apart because we got some huge plans for this car, and I was actually started on this before we started the whole YouTube thing. I did do a couple of little time lapses and videos that was going to just be for myself personally, but we'll go ahead and put those in there in a little bit. That way you can see some of the process. So we got, everything is completely gone out of the car, door panels, everything. So let's just see why we got it so cheap. Just engine's gone, but we yanked that out. This is the damage that it suffered right there. Got hit, but surprisingly none of the airbags went off. But while we get this out from this corner into the middle of the shop, I'm going to turn on that little short time lapse to see the process of us taking out the interior, yanking the engine and motor out. Alright guys, so after that little time lapse, we got the car out in the middle of the shop. So let's take another closer look. We got the engine and transmission out of there, well, for two reasons. One main reason is because you can see all this damage right here that happened from the accident, all this, and even the other rail. You can see a couple of little, this moved also. It moved up here. So by removing the engine and transmission, it's going to give us full access to do a proper job on repairing it, so that way it looks like nothing ever happened to it. 2, we're going to be swapping a different engine in there, so that's why we pulled that out. So all this is going to have to get stripped because we're going to be getting everything from the other car, which we'll get to in a second. We stripped the whole interior because of 2 reasons again. The sunroof drains were all clogged. One of them was unhooked on the other side, and there was water that got in here, and there was mold, and we didn't want it to spread, so we ripped out the whole interior. You can see there's still some left on the shifter right there. Also, we are going to be changing out this whole dashboard. Even though the airbag did not deploy, we're still going to have to change this out because this car had an aftermarket head unit, and I don't know if you can... let me get a flashlight. You can see, because these Audis have a really skinny screen, and they put in an aftermarket radio in there, and they actually cut the dash frame in order to fit that aftermarket radio, and they have all this other stuff and goo in there. That's no good. You know, in any way, shape, or form, that's a huge safety thing if you get hit in the side. So we're gonna be replacing the dash, the frame. I mean, this whole car is gonna get gutted even further. That way we can get everything so it's back up to what it's supposed to be. And another thing that they did was, I don't know why, Audi has a really good Bose system. Maybe their amplifier went something, but I mean, they botched. I mean, it's a complete hack job. They cut all these wires to run some kind of aftermarket stuff. So we're gonna have to redo this whole harness, and hopefully that's not gonna be too difficult, because like these lines right here, that's for the rear window washer fluid. So those are gonna stay, because as you saw in the picture, our car that we're getting, our parts car, it's a sedan. Alright, so let's go check out the parts car. We're gonna grab a jump box and the key, see if it starts up after sitting for. Alright guys, so outside, sorry about the noise, the neighbor is pressure washing. So we're gonna get it started up, get inside the shop, and then we'll take a closer look at it. Let's get these jump boxes on there. We're probably gonna need 2 of them, because this is a S6. And the reason I'm so excited about this parts car, oh man, I guess the squirrels got to it. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to clean that up. I'm not gonna run it too long. Alright, well, now that I got that all cleaned off, this car comes with the V10 5.2 engine, which essentially, it's not exactly, but essentially, it is a Lamborghini Gallardo engine, or the early Audi R8 engines. This has almost 500 horsepower to the crank, not to the wheels, but to the crank from the factory. And that should make for one badass wagon. Give it a cold start after a year of sitting here. Let's see if it'll start up. Running good. Got a few little probably lifter noises, but it's been sitting for a long time. All that oil has been drained down to the pan. So let's get inside the shop and take a better look at it. Alright, so we got it in the shop. This parts car, it actually looks like it's way less damaged than the car that we're rebuilding. But you can see it's got hit there and there. And it got hit in the trunk pretty good too. Alright, well, that damage doesn't matter, because this car, what we need from it, it has everything. It's got all the front end parts, got, you know, the fenders, the hoods, the headlight, the front bumper. Most importantly, it's got the V10 in it. I don't know how they crammed it in there, but they did. And this car is supposed to run real nice. fast. Everything I wanted, but in a wagon. Alright, so let's check out the interior on this S6. It's got these super cool looking, super comfortable Recaro seats, nice support. This one is just a regular seat, but this front one, it's a comfort seat for that additional comfort. It has all carbon fiber trim everywhere, including the center console, here on the doors. I believe the steering wheel is the same, but this one's in better condition, so we're gonna basically everything from this car we plan to swap into the Avant. The cluster, I believe, is pretty similar, except for the fact that it says S6, and it may have a different display and something like that. It's got navigation MMI, but we are going to be upgrading the screen. Stay tuned to that later. The back seats, even the back seats have, you know, a little bit of a support there for the passengers when you're going around the corners. Everything is here. Pretty much everything's intact, everything works. The wheels on here, they're pretty big. What are they? They're 20s, but we're not going to use those. I like those factory OEM peelers. They just look really good, and they finish off that Audi German look to it. This car has 107,000 miles on it. It may seem like it's a lot, but I think this engine has been, as long as it's properly maintained, should be no big issue. It runs good. We're gonna clean everything off, and the other big goal is that I want to swap everything, including the interior, the front seats, the back seats, the door panels, everything, wire harnesses, everything is going to get swapped over to the wagon. From what I've read and measured out on these cars, is that the wheelbase is exactly the same, so all this stuff should just swap over right into the wagon. If not, we're going to make it fit. Alright, and the other thing that's got me so excited about this is that this car, the Avant version, in the United States, you could only get in the A6. You couldn't get it in the S6 in Germany and the rest of parts of the world. It was available, the S6 in the Avant version. In the US, it's not. And it's too new to import, so I didn't do too much digging, but the little bit that I did, the only one that I found is one in Washington State that a shop did this, but there wasn't any information on how they did it. It was just a presentation of the finished car. So this should be quite interesting to see what it's going to actually take to make a S6 wagon. Since you can't buy one, we're just going to make one. Alright guys, another thing from what I read online, I guess Audi put 5 LEDs on each side, one for each cylinder on the car. But I did notice that this one's cracked a little bit here, and well, that one's got a little rock chip on it too, and it's missing the grille, but not a big deal. Overall, we got the whole car. So we got to test this thing out, see how it runs and drives, but first we got to clean up all this mess that the squirrels made. Alright, so I got all the acorns, everything out of there, any fire hazards, but before we take it for a test drive, I gotta clean it, because nobody likes to test drive a dirty car. We're gonna start off with a little bit of degreaser everywhere, because this car has been sitting for a long time. And it's gonna make it much more nicer to work on, because we are gonna be stripping this whole car to take all the parts to put in the wagon. Now that we got the S6 all washed up, I'm gonna wash up this car too. But we're not going to wash the whole car because we got the windows down. This is all exposed and the water can get into the cabin and everything else like that. We are primarily just going to wash this area to get rid of all the grease, that wax, the dirt, basically get rid of everything. So it's nice to work in that area because that's going to be our first area that we want to tackle, is to fix the damage that happened from the accident, and then we're going to focus on the swap. So this doesn't have an engine in it. We got 2 manpower. Let's push it out.
Wop-a-doodle-doodle wop. Beep-beep-a-doodle-whoa. Diddle-diddle wop-a-ba-ba-doo. Crazy talk means I
Alright,
do.
so the damn pole got us again. The car's got no brakes or anything, so I was afraid to get into those. Cut the wheel a little too soon, and mostly scraped it, but it did make a little dent there. Good thing we're painting the whole car. It's a little bit more work to fix it, but I mean, stuff happens. Let's get it washed. Alright, got the engine bay all cleaned up for as best as we could. Got a lot of that grime off of there, so we'll be able to work in here nicely. So let's get the S6 started, let it warm up to operating temperature while we push this back in. We got rid of that pull, and then once that's heated up and warmed up, take it for a test drive. That is way too quiet for a V10. I think we definitely need an exhaust. What do you think? We need an exhaust? I think we definitely need an exhaust. Had a little bit of time to warm up. We moved it around, cleaned up those valves, giving it some revs. But man, this engine for 107,000 miles is just whispering. I mean, it's working perfectly. It's nice and smooth, no issues whatsoever. So I'm really happy with this car. We actually got it out of California, so I paid a good amount for it, but it came out of California. The headlights are in still good condition. Probably most of the plastics are still in good condition because down here in Florida, the Audis and their plastics, they don't do too well. Alright guys, the car's been sitting there. It's all nice and warmed up because it's been sitting for such a long time. So we'll go take it nice and slow down the street. Then we'll magically teleport to Mexico and maybe get on it a little. California, Raiders. We'll don't need that. It's beeping me that all the lights are out in the back, but it's okay. We got no check engine. 5 miles of gas, but that's good. We're probably going to be swapping a lot of this stuff, so less gas in there is better. Tranny's smooth, especially for sitting for a year. Car's driving actually pretty straight. Alright. So we got it on sport. Brakes are a little rusty. ESP fault. Alright, she's definitely a feisty one, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely quick, definitely puts you back in the seat. I mean, it is a V10. Alright guys, so that's going to be the end of this video. I'm very excited about this build. Also nervous because there's no information that I found about swapping a S6 into an Avant, since they did not sell these in the United States. I know it's only going to be one of a handful that I've been able to find, but it's definitely going to be a challenge. But in the end, I think it's definitely going to be worth it, especially the fact that I'm going to have a car for myself that there's not that many or hardly any out there in these areas. I'm fairly new to these V10 engines, so if you guys have any suggestions, comments, anything that can really help out, I'd appreciate it. Drop us a comment down below. We definitely read all those and we pay attention to them, and any knowledge is always useful, so appreciate the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment on the video. That way you don't miss all the content that we have coming for you guys on this build. As always, the likes, the comments, that really tells us that you guys are enjoying the content that we're putting out. So we do appreciate those comments. Thank you for watching another episode of Russian Garage, and we'll see you guys in the next video.